All right, everybody, so we're going to start with the 10-minute mobilization warm-up. So we're first going to start at the feet and then move upwards towards the spine. And so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to work on the feet and ankles first. So we're going to take a horse stance, roughly about shoulder width apart, toes pointed forward. We want to drop our knees just a little bit here and want to keep our hips stacked under our spine. We're going to take the stick and have it in front of us. We're going to pick it up off the floor, angle it in just a couple inches, and set it straight down. We're going to grip the stick at chest height. Hands are going to be stacked. Okay. First thing we're going to do from here is we're going to come up on our toes and the ball of our foot, bringing our heels off the floor as high as we can. You want to make sure that your hips stay level and that they don't move up. We're going to slowly go down, keep it under control. Okay. We're going to come back up, hold. You want to try to maintain control and stability here. I want to come down, slow and under control. Let's go a few more. Up, hold, come down slowly, keep it under control. Make sure you keep your shoulders down. Don't let your shoulders come up. Heels up, hold, and then back down. Good. So now we're going to work on the lateral shifting of the ankles here. Okay, and so what we're going to do from here, still keeping the hands stacked at the same height, we're going to bring the heels up, and then we're going to shift both ankles to the left. You're going to be on your pinky toe on your left foot and your big toe on your right foot. Now we're going to shift to the right. Again, hips are going to stay level. They're not shifting here. Then we're going to shift to the left, right, left. You want to keep it under control as much as you can. Right. If this is too challenging, bring your heels a little closer to the floor. Left and right. Back to center and down. Good. Now we're going to go with circles. Okay, we're going to go with the clock system, 12, 9, 6, and 3. We're going to start counterclockwise here. So we're going to start at 12 o'clock, get back into that horse stance. Heels come up to 12. Then we're going to point the heels to 9. Okay. 6. Don't let your heels touch the floor. 3. And 12. Good. Let's go a couple more here. 9. 6. 3. 12, 9, 6, 3, 12. Let's go one more. 9, 6, 3, 12. Now we're going to go opposite direction. So now we're going to go clockwise. 3, 6, 9, 12, 3, 6, 9, 12. One last time. 3, 6, 9, 12. Back down slowly. Good. And that concludes the feet and ankles. So now we're going to move up to the hips and the pelvis. And so we're going to remain in that horse stance still. Okay. Stick is going to be angled the same. Let's actually switch our hands here. Okay. We're going to drop the hips down just a little bit. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to focus on tucking the pelvis back and forward. Okay. And so from this position, I'm going to tuck my pelvis in, what's called a posterior tilt. You want to feel your glutes activate. Now we're going to tuck our pelvis the opposite way. You should feel your lower back muscles activate. That's called an anterior tilt. Okay? So we're going to go in. Make sure you breathe. Out. Feel those lower back muscles activate. In. Feel the glutes activate. Out. In. Out. One more time. In. Out. Good, back to neutral. And so now we're going to work with lateral tilts. We're going to think about strings being on each end of the hip. As you bump to the right, you want to raise that right side up. The left hips are going to drop naturally. So we're going to start by bumping our hips to the right. Our hip up, you should feel your right glute activate here. Now we're going to bump our hips to the left. Left glute activates. Try not to move your body. Spine stays tall. Right. Feel the right glute activate. Bump to the left. Feel that left glute activate. Bump to the right. Left. Right. And left. Back to center. And so now we're going to go with circles. Same thing we did with the ankles. We're going to work with that clock system here. Okay? So we're going to start counterclockwise. We're going to start at 12. So squeeze the glutes. 9, bump the hips to the left. 6, hips go back. 3, bump the hips to the right. Then 12. Make sure you breathe. 9, 6, 3, 12. One more time. 9, 6, 3, 12. Good, now we're going to go opposite. 3, bump the hips to the right. 6, hips back. 9, 12. Good, let's go a few more. 3, 6, 9, 12. 3, 6, 9, 12. Back to neutral. Stand up, and that concludes the hips. So now we're going to move up to the spine, okay? We're going to work on rotations here. So I'm going to take the stick, I'm going to place it behind my mid-back, still keeping that horse stance, okay? I'm actually grabbing at the ends of the stick, so my arms are actually out straight, elbows locked out. What I want to do is I'm going to drop in that horse stance, okay, just like previously. What I want to do here first, I want to pull the stick apart lightly, and I want to keep the hips facing forward. And I'm going to rotate to the left. Now, as I rotate to the left, my head rotates along with my body, and I'm pushing my right hand forward. Then I'm going to rotate to the right, still lightly pulling apart, about 10 to 15%, pushing that left hand forward, and my head rotates with my body. But my hips are still facing forward. We rotate to the left. Make sure you breathe, don't hold your breath. Now to the right, still pulling apart, push that left hand forward. Good. Come back to center. Now we're going to start to rotate the hips along with our torso. So I'm going to pull apart, rotate to the left. Now I'm rotating my hips along with my spine. Should get further rotation. Now I'm going to rotate to the right. Breathe. Now you're going to notice the sensation in the hip that you're rotating towards. That's internal rotation. Now we're going to rotate to the left, because you're going to get a challenge in the hips a little bit here. Now we're going to rotate to the right. Good. Back to center. Good. So now we're going to focus on incorporating the pivot of our feet into it. So pulling apart, we're gonna rotate to the left. Good, rotate to the right. As I'm rotating to the right, I'm pivoting my left foot. Rotate to the left. Pivot the right foot. Rotate to the right. Pivot the left foot. Back to center. Good. And that concludes the spine series. So now we're going to work on the shoulders. So we're going to work on what's called dislocates. Now, in terms of grip width, it's going to depend on the limitations of the shoulder. However, I typically go with where the grips are or wider than shoulder width here. Still going to remain being in that horse stance, feet pointed forward, drop the hips down a little bit, keep that stability there. Everything needs to stay stacked. Don't let your chin move forward. So from here, I'm going to lightly pull the stick apart, about 15% tension. Going to slowly bring that stick up overhead, keeping the elbows locked out. And once you get to as far back as you can into that overhead position, you're going to come back down. Once the stick gets in sight, in your line of sight, I'm going to push in, try to shorten that stick and compress it. When you get to the bottom, you're going to pull apart again, trying to lengthen that stick. Bring it back up. And only go as far as you can control. If you're having any pain, don't go up as far. Bring it back down. Once it gets in your line of sight, compress and shorten that stick. Feel those anterior tissues turn on. Let's go one more time here. Pull the stick apart. Bring it up overhead slowly. Breathe. Bring it back down. Compress that stick. Shorten it. Back all the way down. And that concludes the shoulders. All right, so now we're going to move on to the strength training phase. So we are going to do hip drills, okay? We're going to start with our feet close together. We're going to take both sticks. We're going to pick them up off the floor. I want you to angle the bottoms of the sticks in to be about roughly 3 to 4 inches in front of the line of our toes, okay? Hands are going to be at shoulder height. What we're first going to do here is going to warm up the entire system. So we're first going to start what's called a standing plank. We're going to keep our arms straight, shoulder blades down towards our hips, and we're going to drive the sticks into the floor with about 50% tension. What you should feel here is you feel like your core is turning on. We're going to hold this position here. Keep driving those sticks into the floor. Then we're going to slowly ease off. Good. We're going to go again. This time we're going to increase the tension. So we're going to keep the arms straight, shoulder blades down towards the hips. Drive those sticks into the floor, 60% tension. You should feel an increased demand from the core. Make sure you breathe. Do not hold your breath, okay? Slowly ease off tension. One more time. We're going to ramp it up to 80%. So arms straight, shoulder blades down towards the hips. Drive those sticks into the floor. Now we're going to slowly ease off tension. So now we have the entire chain warmed up. So now we're going to move into hip flexion here, okay? So limit this to whatever you need to. This shouldn't be painful. So we're keep the arms straight, shoulder blades down. First going to drive both sticks into the floor. We're going to bring up our right knee, keeping our left leg straight. You want to bring that knee up as high as you can. Do not let your shoulders come up. Keep your shoulders down. We're going to slowly bring that right leg back down. Okay, ease off tension. We're going to repeat that same process again. Arms straight, shoulder blades down, drive into the floor. You should be driving about 75% tension. Then we're going to bring that right knee up. Keep the ankle dorsiflex. So don't extend the ankle. Keep it up. Back down. Good. We're going to go one more time. Try to get that knee up as high as you possibly can. Arms straight, shoulder blades down, drive sticks into the floor. Bring that knee up. You should feel like your left glute is reflexively working here, trying to keep your hips in extension. And back down. Good. Ease off tension. Now we're going to go to the other side. Okay? So mechanics are still the same. Arms straight, shoulder blades down. Drive the sticks into the floor. Keep the right leg straight. Try to bring that left knee up. Back down slowly. Good. Ease off tension. Make sure you're breathing throughout these drills here, okay? Don't hold your breath. Arms straight, shoulders down, drive sticks into the floor. Bring our left knee up. Back down. Good. We're going to go one more time here. Okay. Shoulder blades down. Drive sticks into the floor. Bring that left knee up as high as you can. Still keeping that right leg straight. Three, two, one. Back down. Slowly ease off tension. So now we're going to move to hip abduction. So we're going to work on the outside of that glute. Feet are together. We're going to take the sticks, we're going to bring them out to 3 and 9. We want to angle the bottom of the sticks in to roughly about a foot from the outside of my foot, lined up with my midfoot here. Now I want to have your hand that's still at shoulder height, okay? First thing we're going to do is we're going to drive the sticks down. You should feel your core turn on here. We're going to bring the right foot, while still keeping the left leg straight, to the inside of the right stick, and we're going to push against the stick here. Toes are pointed forward, not rotated outwards. You keep the shoulders down. Make sure you breathe. Keep pushing. Slowly ease off. Bring the leg back in. Let's increase the demand. We're going to move the bottom of the stick out just a couple inches here. Okay? Drive both sticks down. Bring that right foot to the right stick. Do not lean over. Okay? If you're here, you're reaching too far. You want to stand up tall. Make sure you breathe. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Back in. Now one more time. Let's move the bottom of the stick out another few inches if you can here, okay? If you can't, that's fine. So what we're going to do, drive the sticks into the floor. Keep the left leg straight. Bring that right foot to that right stick. Push. I want you to push with about 80% tension. You should feel your glute and your lateral hip muscles working here, okay? Hold. 3, 2, 1. Back in. Good. Now the right stick returns back to its starting place. Now we're going to move on to the left side, okay? Positioning is still the same as it was on the other side, okay? Drive both sticks down, keep the shoulder blades down. Bring the left foot to the left stick, toes pointed forward. You're still driving both sticks down the entire time, okay? Do not ease off that tension. Slowly ease off. Bring the bottom of the left stick out a couple more inches. Okay. Going to drop both sticks down. Bring that left foot to the left stick. Remember, do not lean here. Okay. Get the right leg straight. Push. And make sure you breathe. Good. Back in. Let's go out one more time. Bring the bottom of the stick out a couple more inches. Okay. Drop both sticks down. Bring the left foot to that left stick. Push. Now, if there's pain, you can always regress it by pulling the stick in a few more inches. Three, 2, 1. Good. So now we're going to move on to a single leg RDL series. Okay. So the stance is still going to be the same. Okay. Toes pointed forward. What we're going to do with the sticks are we're going to have our arms at 90 degrees, like so. And we're going to place the bottoms of the sticks about 6 to 8 inches in front of the line of our toes. First thing we're going to do from here is we're going to drop both sticks into the floor. Bring the right knee up. Okay. You want your entire foot to remain in contact with the ground on the left foot. So what I'm going to do from here, I'm going to start to drive my right heel back and extend my arms out. Going to hold here. Then we're going to come back up. Bring the knee up. Don't let it touch the floor. Then we're going to go back. We're going to hinge again. Driving that right heel towards the back wall. Back up. Okay. Keep that right knee up. Don't let it touch the floor. Going to hinge back again. Drive that heel back. Back up. Good. And relax. Now we're going to switch sides. Mechanics are still exactly the same. Okay? So drop both sticks down. Bring that left knee up. Hold. Then we're going to drive that left heel back behind us. Extend those arms out. Back up. Keep that left knee up. Now we're going to drive that left heel back again. Extend those arms out in front of you. Back up. Remember to breathe. One last time. Going to hinge back. Drive that left heel back. Come up. And relax. And that concludes the strength portion of the workout. All right, so now we're going to get into the deep fascial stretching. This is going to be our cool down phase. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to start with hip flexors. I like to start with hip flexors for these. And so we're going to go down and have our left knee on the floor, right leg up. We're going to take both sticks. I want the bottom of the sticks angled to be in line with the front of my right foot. Okay, with my toes. Now, the back foot is going to be plantar flex, so you want to extend that ankle here. Okay? First thing we're going to do from here, we're going to get a light bit of activation from this position. So we're going to drive the sticks into the floor about 10 to 15% tension. This next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to drive my back foot into the floor. Now I'm going to squeeze my left glute. Now I'm just going to hold that position. Now for most people, this will be a stretch on the front of the hip. If your quads are tight, you're going to get a stretch in the quads as well. Focus on deep breathing. This is going to be the part where controlling your breath is extremely important. We're going to slowly ease off tension. Okay. We're going to do that same thing again. This time we're going to actually shift our hips forward a little bit. So we're going to drive both sticks into the floor, drive the back foot into the floor, squeeze the left glute. Now I'm going to drive my hips forward just a little. Okay. You're going to notice an increased stretch here. Focus on your breathing. And remember, if there's any pain here, you can simply back off the stretch just a little bit, okay? We're going to slowly ease off tension, coming back. We're going to do one more. Drive both sticks into the floor. Push that back foot into the floor, squeeze the left glute, and shift the hips forward a little bit more this time if you can. Okay? You'll notice a much bigger stretch on the hip flexors and possibly the quad. We're going to slowly back off, ease off tension. Good. Now we're going to switch sides. So positioning is still the same. Sticks are still in line with the toes of the front foot. Okay. Also, do not let your hip leak out. You want to try to keep your foot directly in line with your back hip. Okay. I'm going to drop both sticks into the floor, drop the foot into the floor, squeeze the right glute. Hold that position. So you're going to notice that one side is going to be tighter than the other. That's oftentimes pretty normal. But this lets us know what needs to work on here, okay? Remember to control your breathing. Slowly ease off. Good. Now we're going to go the same thing again. Drop sticks into the floor, back foot, squeeze the right glute. Shift your hips forward a little bit. Control breathing. Slowly ease off tension, coming back. Good. We're going to go one more time. Drop both sticks into the floor, back foot, squeeze the right glute. Then shift those hips forward a little bit more if you can. Remember, this stretch shouldn't hurt. If it hurts, just back off a little bit. Slowly ease off. That's a hip flexor stretch. So now we're going to go to a standing position. We're going to get into the double monkey hang. We're going to add in some rotations here as we go along. So let's start with our right leg forward. Okay. Now the bottoms of the stick, I want to have the bottoms of the stick angled to be right about a couple inches in front of my hip here. Okay, so think about where your hips are. Have the sticks a couple inches in front. I'm going to reach up and grab the tops of the stick here. And what I'm going to do from this big split position, I'm going to drop my back knee down. My right knee is going to go forward. And I want to hang here. You're going to feel a stretch in the shoulders. Make sure you control your breathing. Slowly come out. We're going to go back into it again. This time we're going to add in some rotations. Okay? Grip the top of the stick, drop that back knee down. Now we're going to rotate side to side. So I'm going to first start by rotating to my right towards my front leg. I don't want my hips to rotate along with me. I just want to keep the rotation on my shoulders. I'm going to rotate to the left, away from my front hip. Keep the knee in line with the toes here. Rotate to the right. Now rotate to the left. Back to center. Slowly come out. Now we're going to switch sides. So positioning is still going to be the same. Okay. Have that right leg back. Grip the tops of the stick. We'll first start off with a hang. So we're going to drop that right knee down towards the floor until we get that hang here. Now again, you're going to get a stretch in the hip flexor and a quad being here. You can get quite a few different systems here. Hold. Remember to breathe. Come out slowly. Right. Go back into one last time. We're going to add in the rotations. We're going to drop that right knee down toward the floor. Rotate to the left. Remember, the rotation is coming from the shoulders, not the hips. Rotate to the right. Keep the left knee in line with the toes. Rotate to the left. Rotate to the right. Back to center. And slowly come out. Okay. That concludes the double hang here. So now we're going to drop one stick. Place it off to the side. We're now going to get into what's called a slap shot. So we're going to take a stance as wide as you can comfortably go, of course without any pain. You want the toes pointed forward here. We're going to take the stick, we're going to place it behind our mid-back. You want to have both arms straight. Okay, so I want to try to reach out towards the end of the sticks here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to hinge. So push your hips back behind us. Now if you're tight, you're going to get a little bit of a stretch in the hamstrings and the adductors. And what we do from here, I'm going to lightly pull the stick apart. And I'm going to rotate the right end of the stick towards the floor in front of me and set it down. Now I'm still pulling apart here. This is going to activate my upper back, but also further induce some rotation of the upper spine. I'm going to slowly ease off tension, come back to neutral. Now I'm going to rotate the left end of the stick towards the floor in front of me. And I'm going to pull apart again. Make sure to breathe. Okay. Feel the upper back muscles tighten. Activate here. Get a little bit more rotation. Ease off. Back to neutral. Now we're going to rotate the right end of the stick towards the floor in front of us again. Pull apart. Now we're going to add in lateral lunging. And so I'm going to lunge to my right first. I'm going to push my hips back. Okay? Keep both feet planted on the floor firmly. Now I'm going to lunge to my left. As you lunge to the left, you're going to notice a stretch in a right adductor. We're going to lunge back to the right. Little stretch in the rib cage and the chest. Lunge to the right. Little stretch in the adductors. Go back to neutral. Good. Now we're going to switch sides. Get that left end of the stick towards the ground in front of you. Try to get it towards that center line. Pull apart. Get that activation first. You're going to lunge to your left. Remember, drive your hips back. Okay? Not forward. I'm going to lunge to the right. The left adductor stretching here. Lunge to the left. And to the right. Back to center. Neutral. Come up. Now you're going to wiggle your feet in slowly. That includes a slap shot. Last one, we're going to get into what's called the human bow and arrow. So for this one, we're going to start with the stick on the right side of our body. Want to keep the feet at hip width apart, toes pointed forward. Okay. So for most, I typically tell them to grip their right hand right where the sticker is on the stick. Okay. So what we're going to do from here, stick is in line with the center foot. We're going to take our left hand, reach up over the top with the thumb facing down towards the floor. Okay. First thing I want to do here, I want to bump my hips out away from the stick. Okay. So I'm going to bump my hips out to the left first. Okay. For some people, you might get a stretch here. And we're going to extend both arms out. We're going to get a pretty big stretch in that lateral line. So, for some, this might be a stretch in the left hip. You're going to slowly ease off, come back in. Now we're going to rotate the stick a little bit, just to make sure it's not bending all in one direction. Same steps, bump the hips away from the stick. And then you're going to extend both hands out. And again, make sure you breathe here. Slowly ease off. We're going to rotate the stick one last time. Okay. Same series of steps. Bump the hips out to the left. And extend both hands out. Now what I want you to do from here is I want you to lightly pull upwards towards the ceiling with your top hand. So for me, this is my left hand, so pull up lightly. Gonna get a little bit of activation in that lateral chain here. Breathe. Slowly ease off that tension. Back in. Now we're gonna switch sides. Okay. We're on the left side here. I'm going to stick about 8 inches to a foot, depending on how strong you are. Okay. Hand on the sticker. Take that right hand, reach up over the top, grab with the thumb facing down towards the floor, bump the hips out to the right, then extend both hands. Make sure you breathe. Back in slowly. Rotate the stick. Now we're going to bump the hips away from the stick. Extend both hands. Let us stretch in that lateral line here. Control your breathing. Back in. Nice and slow. Ease off that tension. One last time. Rotate the stick again. Bump the hips out to the right. Extend both hands out. Now pull up lightly with that top hand. Drive a little bit of activation here. Get some of those tissues active. Slowly ease off tension. Back in. And relax. And that concludes today's class. That was the deep fascial stretching portion of today's class.